Guys, welcome to the first episode of my podcast, Informal Arena. And today is just like a dream come true for me, and I'm so excited to have my best people here, Jenny and Sandy. I've known these guys for maybe 15 years. Guys, am I right? 15 years, Abby?
Yeah. Chicken.
Because that's our group. That's our group. He said it's 13 years, so we need to update it, right?
It's 15 now.
It's 15 now.
Yeah, we need to update that group, right? 15
Yeah.
years of friendship, it's been a beautiful one. And this is one thing that I know that maybe you guys, I'm sure you must have had friends that are, in your corner for that long. These ones are real to me. They are so real. And that's why I'm bringing them on for the first time. I'm so happy about it. So guys, please introduce yourself now. Let's know what's up.
Okay. My name is Sandra. I'm a mom, a lawyer, an educator, a wife, and I'm based in Dubai.
Right.
Hello, guys. I'm Genevieve, and you can tell that I'm the one that agrees for nobody.
Purple lady. See, do you remember that name? See,
I'll just take off my glasses to introduce myself.
Do you still love purple?
Well, I have a little girl now who loves purple, so
okay.
I'm forced
transferred it.
I'm forced to love
Probably
purple.
your ancestors transferred to you, then you transferred
something like that. I think it runs in the blood.
Exactly.
So my name is Genevieve. Like I said earlier, I'm a lawyer. We are all lawyers here. That's one thing we all share in common. Another thing we all share in common is that we don't stay in Nigeria. I live in the UK with my family. I'm married, and I have 3 beautiful children. And I'm a content creator, jack of all trade and master of all.
Guys, thank you for coming for this first episode. I'm so happy to have you guys here. I was asking myself one very important question before today, and I was saying that how did I even meet you guys? Like, how did we get to this point? It's very important. Wait, because I remember how I met Sandra. Like yesterday, I remember it. There's nothing that will make me forget that day. But I'm sure Sandra doesn't know what I'm saying. But Sandra, can you remember like the day we met for the first time in Absol?
I think that was my first day, our first class together. We met at the gates.
Sandra, you are so sharp. Oh my God!
That place that bike used to stop.
Yes.
As I was just coming down, you were going. I was like, this person is wearing white and black. White and black was like a symbol now. It was like one of the most white and black was an expensive color in that school. You just want to wear white and black. You just want to have that color. So I was like, who is this guy wearing white and black? God. I just looked around. So I think you walked up to me. And from there, since then to 15 years, we've been working.
Yeah,
we've been
actually,
working,
I remember. I think it was like the first class we had.
Yes.
It was philosophy and logic.
Exactly.
So normally we're not supposed to wear that black and white that day, right? But because we are not sure, we just wore it. Most of our colleagues wore like regular clothes.
Different, yeah.
Yeah. So
yes, exactly.
I saw you at that gate and I was like, this person might actually be a law student. Who knows?
Who has to be wearing white and black? He has to be a law student, of course.
Yeah, definitely. Jenny, how far? Can you remember how we met? Like, I'm not sure about you. I am not sure, honestly.
I can remember how I met Sandra. Right? We all met in class. See, there is no particular moment, but there was this time we went for TDB. We're in class. I think that was where Sandra and I clicked. To be very honest, I can't remember where exactly I met Sandra. Sandra, can you remember?
I think the first time we met was at is it that lady that used to keep record if you pay school fees, your receipt, something like that. We met at the
that lady in our faculty, right?
Yeah, we were on a queue. I think that's the first time I met you. For me, in my own head, in my own memory, except maybe I'm getting it up. But that's the first memory I have speaking with you.
I can't even remember Mayor as how I met Mayor. In fact, for Mayor, Mayor was everywhere. Do you understand? Mayor was everywhere. So you just have to know
his post that
Mayor.
he wrote, "Do you know Mayor?" when he was campaigning. So
Exactly.
Mayor, you were
Oh my
everywhere.
God,
Do you know
Sandra,
Mayor? We
how
know
did
you.
you not? How did you know all these things? This,
Do you know Mayor?
Mayor, we know you. Who doesn't know Mayor?
So you were actually everywhere.
but I'm sure. So one thing I can remember about you, Jenny, is that I noticed because I think when we were in first year, when did you become the costume rep again? Second year or first year?
First
Was
year.
first year.
First year. So I knew you were like always wearing this. That was how I started calling you Purple Lady now. Wear this your purple shoes, high heels, and
Purple
you have this
earring.
purple something, yeah, earrings that you.
Mm.
I'm sure that's how we started actually talking. Like, but I can't remember the particular day, But I mean, it's been an amazing journey so far, and
Exactly.
I wouldn't have done these things without you guys because I mean, who else have I really shared memories with if not for you guys? Really, 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 really. Absol was like a journey for each and every one of us. But I remember the day my dad brought us back to school. And my brother, you know, carried us everything and came to Absol. It was just like so memorable for me. I remember it like yesterday. How I even slept off in the car. Coming there. I remember, went through first year, second year, and then did we at some point we wanted to have a name, Fantastic Four. You, I
So I think there was rugs.
Rugs.
We had
That was
rugs.
only girls now.
That
During the
was
time
only
of
rugs.
Blackberry
But
time.
yes, but there was another one that had even Derek in it. There was a name. There was a
really.
name.
That had Derek Dre.
Dre, yes. Dre.
Oh, okay, okay. You
Joe.
guys. I remember you guys. No, that one for yeah, you guys. I remember you
I
guys.
remember you guys.
I remember. I wasn't part of that too. I wasn't part of that group.
No, but there was, and I know the one we're talking about, the one you, me, Genevieve, and Jega.
Yeah,
And
Dave and the guy. Then at some point we had Grace.
Yes.
We had Grace. Who was there? Grace up
we
was
had
there too.
Grace.
Was Grace part of it?
No, so
No.
so
The
Jenny,
one
you were
that
not
Grace
there.
was part of. I wasn't part of it.
Yeah, Jenny, you were not at the point. Yes. Yeah.
I know that there
So
was.
many groups.
Oh my goodness, so many groups.
Yeah. But that rocks. That Blackberry time. That rocks. It was a thing. We did a thing.
Yeah, it was a thing.
And then third year, okay, I ran for elections, right?
Do you know Mayor? Yes, we know Mayor. We
assistant
know you.
secretary.
We know you. We know you.
Then you guys, Genevieve, Sandra, you ran for VP in fourth year.
VP, yes.
Hey, Sandra.
Don't go there. The battle of the Sandras. Don't go there.
The battle of the Sandras.
Oh my God, that was when you guys became roommates, right?
No, we became roommates from second year.
From second year.
Like I stayed in the hostel in first year, and as I was leaving after first year, I was packing my bags. I moved in with into Sandra's room while Martin left.
Yes.
So we tried being roommates in second year until we graduated. And I look forward to it.
That's election period.
Angels Lodge, room
Angels Lodge.
306.
That we
where
used to
the
come to study.
and the doings, the cookings were going on. Room 306.
Oh
if you never chop for room 306, you never chop before.
Never chop. It did not start today. Oh. The Orishi did not start today. That's how we used to trouble Angels Lodge. Once you start looking like this,
we'll come to study, but end up sleeping away our lives.
And eating.
Remember that April food that we did to Mayor and Jega?
Jesus, guys, no, don't do that. This is a good place to mention it to the world. This is not good. Guys.
That April food that we were chilling in our father's house, our parents' house, and we just called Mayor and Jega, said, food is done, no. It done. Come chop. These people with their last TP, their last transport.
Guys, see, we were in church that day. We were in church
Hey,
worshiping God
Mayor, may good
and
food
praising
not
God.
lead you in trouble, Mayor.
We
Good
were in
food, you like
church
food.
praising
Let's
God.
hear the story from your point of view.
We were in church praising God. The guy met me and said that he just got a message from you saying that we should come and eat after service. That you guys cooked food. I was so happy that day. I was really happy. I was like, okay. I mean, since the church is close to your lodge, we'll just like walk down there. After church, the sun was so hot, like very, very, very hot.
True song.
We started talking. We started walking to your lodge. We got there. We saw this big padlock. Hi, God. I felt like the ground should open because I didn't want to. I was not thinking about my life, how I was going to walk back to my lodge. My lodge, Riverstone. Oh my God. You guys, you
Oh
guys
my
didn't do
God.
well. You guys didn't do well at all.
It was
I
an
swear.
experience.
It was quite an experience, honestly. It was quite an experience. And then because I was thinking, I was saying, okay, well, I mean that we all have like I know that of course we are in the same age brackets. We had virtually the same childhood memories because I was watching a video. Someone said that our parents are all in the same WhatsApp group, and I agree because our parents are all in the same WhatsApp group. To be very honest, because I believe that we all have like one common experience that we had as kids growing up. That if I say my own part, you say that it's the same thing, and you be asking yourself, oh, does it mean that our parents they attended the same school of how to train kids? And I've been thinking, like, my childhood was memorable. Sometimes I have this nostalgic feeling, like when I buy a perfume, it brings like helps me to remember like past things that happened in my life. I'm like, does it happen to you guys? Like, do you guys what do you like? What's the special thing that happens? Like, you can just remember, oh, this thing I can remember this day. I can remember this particular event that happened in my life, maybe because of perfume or because of an event or because of a kind of dressing. Does it happen to you guys?
Of course, it does.
How do you remember your childhood? Like, really? What's like what are things that can happen that you remember your childhood from?
It's just some funny things that because the reason why I remember some of the things I remember, it's coming from the place of being deep
Mm.
and over processing things. Like some things will happen now, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah, that
I
makes a
can
lot of sense.
relate it to something that happened when I was growing up. And when you say childhood, the earliest I can remember was I think somewhere 2 to 3 years old, where I ate Maggie instead of Chocomilo. I can't forget it. You know Chocomilo.
Yes, Sokomiro, yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes, yes.
I was always making a fuss about it. Then I had this cousin that lived with us. That particular season, I have disturbed everybody about Chocomilo that was just Maggie. And she convinced me that Maggie was Chocomilo. I think that was the day I stopped. My madness for Chocomilo ended because I ate Maggie in the place of Chocomilo. So that's one faint thing I can remember about my childhood at that age because I was really young. This might be between 3 to 5 years old. Do you understand?
Wow, I don't even think I can remember anything about myself at that age. I don't think so.
So that's
Funny
why I
enough.
say that's the faint memory, something like I remember at that age. So if you're trying to talk about childhood now, I think you should be giving it age brackets. Do you understand?
Yeah, I mean, so let's say for instance, let's even say like maybe like between 7 years, probably to young adulthood, you know.
For me, my childhood it was fun. Oh, it was fun. Like I would not trade it for anything. Generally, I would say is the local community growth. It's not this one that everybody inside their house on
Like
iPad.
leaders used to visit like go on sleepovers, like your cousin's
Exactly.
house.
And funny enough, it was safe. it's not like now that even just the person next to you, your next door neighbor might just not be safe enough for you, understand? It was safe. But I think one particular memory, one particular childhood memory I will remember. Hey, Mayor, has fowl chased you before? Chicken.
Ha! Yes, now. Yes.
Has chicken chased
Yes.
you
Yes.
before?
Yes. Yes.
And to even make matters worse, it was festive period, Christmas period. So the chicken, the family is already like, the families have been going down. You know, the people have been taking the families one by one, killing. So already there was danger. The chicken was already on, I don't
On
know,
guard.
that protective zone. Hey, oh my God. It didn't do anything to me, oh, but that fear, the beak of the chicken and all the things that we have heard,
Yeah.
that chicken, this and that. So it was just coming with the kids. And I was usually passing on my own, but I just feel like maybe because that festive season, the children have reduced from 5 to 3 as a mother. So that's what, even till now, that made me till now, chicken, I cannot even hold, I cannot even kill, I don't even know. Don't just call me around. So I think that one particular childhood memory that really stuck with me. And because even as an adult now, that fear is still there, even till now.
I'm telling you, I had a similar experience. Let me tell you what happened. The same chicken thing. So at some point in my house, we are rearing chickens, right? Like the white ones that are very stubborn, very, very, very stubborn. So they will be as in they will grow so big. So one of the Sundays that I think my brother was the one that tried to kill the chicken. After killing the chicken, we didn't know that chicken did not die properly. He did not really die like that. So he did not cut the
I'm
throat
there.
properly. He put the chicken inside the basin, poured hot water, the chicken stood up. Everybody took off. Everybody took off.
Oh my
Everybody
God.
took off. Like the chicken came back to life. Like
What chop chicken?
All right, guys. I just wanted to point out something about my childhood that, well, it's a series of events, how childhood events affected my personality today. Okay. I recall there is something that I started processing this when I was in uni. Okay. But I traced it back to when I was in primary school. In my primary two, I I am a very intelligent girl in class,
yeah,
right?
we know.
So in my class, at least I'm top girl. Do you understand? I didn't have a lot of friends. I didn't have a lot of friends. And with the way I'm wired, I'm not so humble with what I know. I'm not going to rub it on you. You guys know now. I'm like
Now
I'm
we,
not
now we.
Tell
now
me who
really.
you are without telling me who you are.
Yes. So if you tell me you're a smart girl, I'm not going to go all, No, I'll say yes, thank you, I know. Do you understand? So, but it didn't start today. As a child in primary school, maybe because we were children, people didn't like that. People didn't like me. I feel people didn't like me when I was in primary school. I didn't have a lot of friends. I had just one friend, Nnamdi Nwogu, who became a very close friend of mine in like primary five. But in primary two, I didn't really have any friend. Then fast forward to secondary school, I had a group of friends. It's just like I have Sandra and Mayo who know me. And that's it for uni. In secondary school, I had a group of friends who are my diehard. I also I felt also back in secondary school, I didn't have friends. I think people didn't really like me. Yeah.
Why? Why really? Because you're
So
so
that's
bold.
I don't I was so bold. I am so bold.
I
Maybe
mean,
I was too,
looking at it like right now, if you're asked like
yes,
why would you think people didn't like you when you were in secondary school, like what would you say?
I was audacious.
Okay, that makes sense.
So some people, like my secondary school mates, I got a message one day from them on Facebook, really apologizing that some of you was just from a point of jealousy, actually. We couldn't
Oh
just
wow.
yeah, we couldn't just be the way you were. Well, someone sent me that message on Facebook. Do you get what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I knew that I was not one of the most loved people. You know how you see somebody and the person is just easy to like?
Yeah.
You just like,
Yeah.
I'm not that person.
Hmm.
People get to know me to like me. And when they get close to me, they're like, hey, I didn't know you were like this.
So that means they judge you from afar.
From afar.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's what I perceived about my personality when I was from growing up. And when we now got to uni, a lot of things happened, the whole cost rep issue. And I sat myself down after the whole cost rep saga happened. And I asked myself, am I really hard to be loved? You guys know the story.
Yeah, sure.
You guys know the story. I asked myself, am I really hard to be loved? And that was the point that my personality started forming. After that incident, you guys know the incident that happened where we were in class and everybody stand up if you want to vote for this person. How many people voted for me? My Sandra and my mayor. And do you understand? You can remember now, Sandra. You know the
That
story.
day,
We can't forget that day. We can't.
But
Memory is still fresh.
that particular event formed every single person that I am today. That was when I started dealing with rejection. So I stumbled with dealing with, I felt rejected, and I now started studying dealing with rejection. I went back to all the times that I've been rejected. And I came to the conclusion that no, there is nothing wrong with you. And the same way there is nothing wrong with you, there is nothing wrong with every other person, because we are all imperfect human beings that could make mistakes. Nobody deserves to suffer rejection.
Right. But do you think that your personality at the time, when it was playing out, did you like the way you people perceived you, and you said that you were hurt and everything? Do you think now that you said it has affected you right now, like formed who you've become ultimately? Do you think you dropped some of those personalities, or did you pick up more of those personalities that made you who you are right now?
I picked them up some more. I picked them up more.
So,
That's what I
so
did.
you felt that
I didn't
them
change.
because
No,
them
I
the
didn't change.
consequences.
Mayor, have I changed for the past 15 years?
You've not changed. I know you as someone that will tell you red is red. I know
I
that
have
you're
not
someone that will
changed.
say the truth and still maintain beauty. I
Remember,
know. I know.
I haven't changed. So what I did was, but the only thing I learned was how to apply discretion.
Mm.
I started studying when I was in secondary school. I am that person in my SS1. I can't forget it. SS1A. We wrote an exam, right? We wrote an exam and people did expo. Mayor, that's not my pattern. People were carrying, obokrekre and all of those things.
Mbo.
Yeah.
Mbo. I
Mm-hmm.
told our form mistress names of the people that carried Mbo.
You did it.
I did.
That's snitching. You were
No, that's
snitching.
snitching. Now, that is snitching, right? But was it right for you to carry Mbo?
I mean, it wasn't right.
Thank you. Now, what I learned now as a grown person is to mind your business. As long as it doesn't affect me, mind your business. So you see how I could have accumulated enemies back then. You're a snitch. Even though you're the one in the wrong, but I'm the snitch.
But minding your business, like I'm throwing this question out now for both of you. Minding your business, even though it does not affect you, do you think is a good mentality, like to apply in every area of your life right now?
You mean stay on your lane?
Yeah. Like staying on your lane is different from minding. So when you see
Is this
something
on
going
your
wrong,
lane?
hold on, wait. No,
Let's
staying
go.
on your lane is different. So minding your business is more like just like you said, even though it's not affecting you,
If it's not
as long as it doesn't
affecting
affect you.
you, if it's
Yeah.
not
So
affecting you,
what
for
if
me, if
something
it's
is
not
going
affecting
wrong
me, I'll
that
mind my
you
business.
so what if something so if it's not affecting you, but then it's going to cause harm to somebody else? Are you not going to step in to say, okay, let me
It
see what I can do?
depends. It depends. Is it like harm to life? If it's not harm to life, I think I'll mind my
You
business.
work-
If it happens to you, if it happens to you, you will learn from it. If it doesn't, if it happens to you, then you learn to stay vigilant. Generally, I feel like there's a lot going on, a lot someone has to do in a day to day, a lot to think, solve, resolve, and all that for me to start, like figuring out should I mind my business or not. Generally, I'm the mind your business type of person. I'm the stay on your lane type of person.
Yeah,
If it doesn't like generally affect me, hurt me, or the ones that I love and care about, maybe some things need to happen to you for you to stay vigilant. If you go to
absolutely.
any
I agree.
place, be vigilant of your environment, people around you. If you're like a daisical and something happens to you, you learn from it though. That's life. I can't just be prognosing in different things. That's just not my personality. And if that's wrong, I don't know.
You know one thing is this, eh? One thing is that like right now, as you are talking, there are so many like students, those in high school, those in primary school that are also having this kind of challenge right now in terms of, oh, if my personality is challenging other people, and they just think is maybe that they are being bullied, right? Because I know that during my own time, oh my god, they bullied me. Oh. You know this thing they call bullying in school, right? That because in high school I was of course I was very very young, very 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 young, and I wasn't no strength, nothing, no power. I cannot even fight, but I couldn't even talk properly, like, right. So and there was this particular guy that was always bullying me. I'm telling you the truth of the matter. That guy, if I see him tomorrow, I will confront him. I will confront him.
You are still
That guy
holding it in
bullied
your
me.
mind.
There
You still
was
carry it
nothing
for
I
mind.
did. There was nothing I did in that school that guy was not picking on me for. He picked on me for every, and of course, I was a border. So it was like I was seeing this guy every day of my life. I was bullied, but I didn't even see it as bully. I didn't know it was bully until I left school. But I knew that somebody was always after my life. When I was going back to school, anytime I'm going back to school, if I remember this guy. Now, funny enough, this guy was in my class. He wasn't even a senior. That's the worst part of it. This guy
Can
was in
you
my class. He wasn't even
imagine?
a senior. And he was speaking on me so much. But like I felt that, oh, I couldn't even do anything at the time. It wasn't a place of, oh, go home and tell your parents what's going on and everything. So it wasn't, but like I passed through that thing through secondary school till he left school, because I was there to the last class. But he left, I think, at some point in SS1 or SS2. So that was when I get my life back. It was crazy. But then right now, people are still going through all those kind of things, right? And there is no way you can, maybe they're able to like open up to say this is what I'm going through in school. Especially our own country. It's not like where these things happen in a certain way that we all know. But like I know you guys are mothers, you have kids. I mean, how are you preparing your kids really to face these kind of issues, especially now that you are even in a different world, right? They're going to see some
Mm.
some things that are crazy, like from other people. How are you preparing those kids of yours to face life like this? Because
Okay,
definitely it will come.
before we get into that question, there was a question you asked that I really wanted to drop something like when something does not affect you, minding
Yeah,
your business when something does not affect you.
yeah, yeah,
The just like Sandra said, it depends on the extent of harm and the extent of wrong. But one thing that I have also learned on this journey of life is if something does not affect you today, you keep quiet. It's only about a matter of time before it starts to affect other people, or before it goes round and gets to you. It's
So
only
are you taking it back? Are you taking what you said back?
I'm not taking it back. I'm not taking it back. I'm just trying to keep something, as in make a point there.
Okay, okay.
So if I said what I learned, what I took out of it is discretion,
Yeah,
how to use it. Do you understand?
yeah.
So the fact that it's not affecting me, I go keep quiet. But that doesn't mean that I will take my eyes off what is
Off
going
from,
on.
yeah.
Right,
Do you
okay.
understand the thing?
Yeah.
So it's about discretion and timing. You can be saying the truth, but saying it at the right time or at the wrong time.
That makes sense. That
All
makes
right,
sense.
now back to what you said.
Yeah. So I threw the question to you guys. So anyone can jump in, really.
Sandra, do you want to go first?
Okay, you're talking about how it affects our like what we're doing based
Yeah.
on our kids and all that,
Yeah. So because of those things we experienced, like
and
no, we
our
experienced
environment.
bullying. Yeah. So how are you guys really preparing your kids to face those things? Because those things are they will really come. Really.
Yeah, so I would say that the system now has changed. Back then, there was no social media, even though we were thriving, but now there are a lot of stuff to watch on social media, a lot of apps teaching kids, on how to handle some things, a lot of creators that focus on child-based education.
Yeah.
I work in a school environment, and the kind of subjects or topics that we teach, they're not basically what was taught to us. Apart from the regular maths and English and science, there are topics like MSCW, moral, social, cultural education,
Yeah.
and different this type of topics they teach it. Bullying, how do you handle it, kindness, community growth, and all that. So basically, I think the system, like I said, have changed. Now people are more aware that this type of things exist. Before, most of us lived in denial, like what you were saying before, that you didn't even know that it was bullying, even though it
Yeah.
was
I didn't
bullying.
know.
But
Yeah.
now most kids can tell you that, as at that time, they are aware that you are bullying them,
Yeah.
because now the self-awareness is there, the education is there. People are creating content about this, people are making noise about it, stop this, don't do this, don't do that. And also, when you're living in a more exposed environment or culture, you
Yeah.
need to take like more maximum step, more maximum care than we did in our local environments, because now it's all about exposure. And exposure can be right, it can be wrong. You can find yourself assimilating the wrong things, thinking that they are right. So it all comes down to the kids. How do you what do you inculcate in them? Do you try to find out what they are watching? You, as a parent too, are you self-aware? Do you even have that time? I always say that women or mothers, not that fathers are not important, but generally we know that mothers play more care role than the fathers. No matter how you want to look at it, even if you're a house husband, you cannot put so much care on the kids compared to how a mother would be. So I always say, women, at that time your kids are growing up, try to be more available. If you know that this job will not offer you that kind of time, maybe that job should not be for you at that time. There is nothing wrong with being ambitious, but this is a very careful stage. So mothers should have more time to find out what are their kids doing. For example, for me, in my child's tab, there are just some apps she just cannot have now.
Yeah.
I know they say TikTok is from, is it 13 years, or I think 13 years, but trust me, there are a lot of things on that TikTok that a 13-year-old should not even see,
Yeah.
should
That's
not
true.
even like know. So being self-aware as a mom, and being, how do I put it, um you just really want, there is one thing about, and you really want to put in the work, because it's work on its own. It's an unpaid job. It's not a
Yeah.
job somebody's coming to pay you every month because you are working for your mom and they're paying you additional. I know it doesn't really happen like that in black and white. So being self-aware, that's number one. Then the environment matters. Now I would like to say we are more lucky that we're living in an international world. Knowledge is not really hard to get. There is free Wi-Fi, there is light. You cannot really say that the kids are bored. There is park everywhere, child-friendly zones. There are a lot of activities, academic activities that your kids can engage in: painting, drawing, counting. There's just a lot of stuff to do to brighten up your kids faster. There are a lot of books to read. So generally, just come to being self-aware and putting in the work.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Jenny, any idea on that?
Yeah, Sandra, you've basically said it all, but I am an advocate of child parents relationship.
Exactly.
So I feel that that's one of the things that was missing in our generation.
Right.
You know,
Thank you for bringing that up. Oh my.
that's one of the things that is missing, that was missing in our time. I cannot remember, I don't know for two of you, but I cannot remember. I know some people actually experienced it, but there was never a time I caught myself sleeping on top of my daddy's bed or my mommy's bed.
I didn't hear my dad say I love you before. Even up until now.
But they
Yeah.
love you
So,
and you know it, but they express in a different way.
do you
Yeah.
understand me?
They'll give you money.
So even my mom, I had to like say, loosen up. It was, you know how you're trying to toast a fine girl and the girl likes you, but the girl is funny. I said, Mommy, it's so moge, I love you. If you tell your kids I love you, what will
Something will
happen?
happen to you.
What will happen to you? She now say, that my mom, also her own mom, my grandma, was
Yeah.
doing love, 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 love. And she didn't like the way her own kids turned out. So that's why she's tough
This
for
stuff.
her own children. I understand her sentiment, right? But I believe that if you have a good relationship with your child, where your child calls up to you and tells and whispers things to you without fear of getting into trouble, you have won a greater percentage of parenting.
This is good. This is good insight. This is good insight.
You have won because they could know that they are being bullied, but they're not talking about it. Because I can talk to mommy and mommy pushes you away. Now that we are having this conversation, I don't know if you people have seen this movie that is trending in the UK.
Adolescence. There's what
Adolescence.
Yes. Yes. I just saw the movie
Adolescence.
like 2 days ago.
Exactly. Now,
Thankfully I've seen it. Thankfully I've
so you
seen
can
it.
see what happened there. There was
Yes.
information. The parents did everything, but something was missing.
Something was missing. Yes.
Communication.
Yes.
The boy was always in his room. You felt he was safe. You felt the child was okay. You felt everything was fine. But you guys were not talking. Now,
Right.
let's even leave Jamie. Let's leave Jamie. The person whose story hits me the most is the son of the policeman.
Yes.
The son of the policeman lives with the mom, and the mom is the hard one, remember, from the
Right.
conversation. The mom is the
Right.
hard one. Why the
Yes.
police officer was the soft one.
Yes.
So he doesn't want to go to school, for example, because he's being bullied, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't want to go to school because he's being bullied, and he calls the dad to say, give one excuse. And what does the dad do? Pushes him to the mom and says the mom will sort it out.
Right.
So when your child is trying to skip school, because there was a time my son was also saying, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to go to school. I'm tired of going to school. Why are you tired of going to school? That is when you open the room for communication and a conversation. Understanding your children. So, but because I also make excuses for parents, because we are always, maybe when this child is trying to say, you don't want to go to school, all you want to do at that point is to make sure they go to school on time. So this is not time for me to start listening to you. Come on, will you go and get ready to go to school? Do you understand what I'm saying? But if you have mentally taught yourself as a parent to pick up signals and a particular opportunity that opens itself for you to speak to your kids, once you see them, you just hold on to them. So my child tells me, I don't want to go to school, mommy. I don't want to go to school. Why? You will be shocked at what the child is going to tell you when you ask the child, why? Oh, I don't like how this person treats me in school. Oh, maybe they laugh at me in school. Oh, I think school is too stressful. Oh, I think this, I think that. The child, you've given the child an opportunity to express how they feel about school. And then that is also an opportunity for you to do what? Parent, educate, impact. So no matter how beautiful and how informed we are, if we do not seize the opportunity to talk about it, I was teaching my child good touch and bad touch, my little girl.
Yeah.
And when we got to the face, she touched her face. I touched her face. I asked her, good touch or bad touch? She said, bad touch. And I asked
Wow.
her, why is it bad touch? She said, because I don't allow her to touch my face.
Okay.
And I told her, you're a skincare girlie, you've won. So that's parenting for you. Children are going to learn a lot from communication. So for context, if you're trying to keep your face, shiny and all, you're doing the whole skincare girly thing, You don't let people touch your face because they're
Right.
going to put germs on your face. So what I'm saying is children are going to pick up a lot of things from communicating with their parents. So what is missing is parents are transferring, you see the whole tabs. Sandra, I'm not trying to discredit what you've said, but my own perspective of it all, I've taken my children off tabs at the moment. No tabs in my house anymore. At the moment, no tab. I'm giving them an opportunity to be bored. You know, when we were growing up, our parents would tell you, you must be doing something. You
Yeah.
cannot stay without doing something. But I'm giving my children an opportunity to be bored. It is okay for you to be bored. Let them know how to manage idleness.
Mm.
Because it is that constant need to fill up that space that will lead some people maybe to start taking drugs, to start drinking. You can stay. If you stay without doing anything, you can stay. Just faff around. It's okay. You know, our parents will tell us you must be doing something. They'll see you sitting down. Why are you sitting down? You must be doing something. Is it only me?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like for me, I wouldn't say that they were always looking out for you. They are maybe always looking up to you to do something. Sometimes they want you to actually sit down and not do anything, right? Because
Our
you
parents. Sandra, sit down and do that.
because I don't. I mean, okay, I'm a guy, right? We're all boys in our house, so I don't know. So the thing is, because we are always wanting to do something. We always want to play rough, do this, do that, but they want you to sit down and maintain some kind of posture, right? So, oh
We are talking
yes,
about a different household here. Sandra,
oh,
tell me about your.
absolutely, we are
I
boys
think
now,
my own household had to do with mood and what my parents wanted to achieve at that time. If it's a Sunday, like when they know that visitors are going to be coming over, they just want you to just chill. They want you to stay. They want the whole place to be tidy, to be neat, to be quiet.
right?
But if it was on a weekly day that is a busy day for them, you just have to be active as well. So I just think ours also has to do with what you want to achieve that day for them, for the both of them. So it was just different.
So, but you know the whole African mentality thing where parents will walk in, you're sitting down. What are you doing? Nothing. Have you washed the plates? Have
Have you
you
scrubbed the door?
touched the door? Do you
Yeah, yeah,
understand?
that
Have you
yeah,
done this? That's the point I'm trying to make. But
okay,
you
yeah,
know,
that makes
kids,
sense.
yeah, my kids will tell me things like, I'm bored. I'm bored. I'm
Yeah,
bored.
yes,
What am I doing? They're always looking for the next activity. I know that that's their stage.
yes,
But I try to tell them that it's okay to just stay and do nothing sometimes. It's called rest. It's
mm,
called, maybe you can just reflect. You can just think. I personally feel that constant need to fill a gap is, they say that an idle mind is the devil's
is it
workshop.
devil's
I
workshop? I was
agree.
going to come to that. Yeah,
I agree. An idle mind is a devil's workshop. I agree. But also constant quest to be high, to you
fill
know
up a space. Yeah.
to fill up a space is also a problem.
Right. So there should be a balance,
There
really.
should be a balance.
So I
I
would
think I
like,
get
I
your
would like
point.
us to take it back a bit to that communication thing you talked about. That thing is very, very important, and I see that that's where I know it's not applicable to every household. Some people actually got it right.
Yeah.
Some parents actually did that job properly. But I think that this is the part where I'll say, I mean, for me personally, it's very important. And I'm going to share a story that happened that made me to think that if I was to even go back to my childhood right now, this is what one thing I would really wish I would go back to change and then be able to have access to I mean, my father is that disciplinarian. He's the one that is always uptight. He's the one that is always looking out for any faults so he will keep you straight. He does not like you can't be stupid under his roof, right? My mom is on the soft side. So the way I placed it, my dad is Supreme Court, my mom is the High Court. So once there's an issue, you go to the High Court first before they go to. If the case is heavy, they will pass it on to the Supreme Court.
Supreme Court.
So but I know that communication was a very big problem for me. Especially for my dad. My dad is the kind of person that once he's coming back to the house, once you hear the sound of a car, everybody, Pia,
Wow.
race out from the living room. Everybody is going to make sure that everything is prim and proper. Like, have you taken your bath? Is the living room like kept clean? You can't even be there when he comes in. So when he comes, you now go to greet him. So there was this fear, right? That we lived with, being that we had a father that was a disciplinarian, really, really, really so disciplinarian. So um um when I first got into high school, I was 11 years old. 11. I was very tiny. People of God, I was very, very tiny. So, but my dad, everybody, all his children have to be boarders, go to boarding school. In fact, my younger brother became a boarder when he was in primary 4. So, when I got into that school, that was that was the first school I went to, and I didn't finish there. It was somewhere in Umahia in Abia State. So when I got into that school, I had an issue, but I didn't tell anybody about it. It was this issue of bullying, and then I was scared about a lot of things. I was so young, right? But each time I go to school, and then I go back home for holidays. Anytime I remember that I'm going back to school, I become scared. I will cry. They will literally force me into the car to go back to school. And no, in all those things, nobody asked me what is wrong.
Why?
Is there a problem? Nobody asked me. They'll say, you must go to school. You must go to school. It got to a point when they will bring neighbors to come they will bring neighbors come and help bundle this boy into the car so he'll go to school. I will fight. I will cry. Nobody asked me anything. One of those days when they took me back to school, so it was a midterm break, just 1 week. So I was supposed to go back on a Sunday. I was stubborn. I refused to go back. They left me. Monday morning, my mom pleaded with me, asked me to go back and everything. So she took me back by herself. When I go back to school, I wasn't comfortable. I went to class. It was a Monday. I went to class. After school, it was a day I'm boarding. After school, I had only my school bag. After school, I absconded from the school.
You
I
jumped
was
fence.
there was no. I mean, the school was so big. So the parts where they had fence, right? So they had gates in front. The back side, they didn't have
No
any
gates.
fence really.
I can relate.
Exactly. So I couldn't even join the day students to cross the gate because they will know that I'm not a day because of the way I will act or something. I went to the back. After I waited, it's a Catholic school, and then they went to pray. After school they'll go to pray at the chapel. I went to the bathroom. From there, I sneaked out of the school. I sneaked out. I left. I was only 11. I walked so far from the school to the main streets was about 10 to 15 minutes. I walked, got to the main streets. I couldn't remember the name of my junction where I was going. I couldn't remember anything. But somehow I saw a motorbike. Somebody was already there. It was like a mini um station where bikes stop. So I met this guy. The guy he just called me, and I had money in my pocket. I had money in my wallet. I had a wallet that they gave me my pocket money. So the guy met me, said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to one junction, but I don't know the name." So do you know he took me on his bike? He drove me. As he was going so fast, I saw my junction. I told him, "This is my junction. Stop me here." Immediately I got to my junction, I saw other motorbikes. Those ones, they knew me. They know my family very, very well. So as they knew me, they started calling my name. So they took me back home. So when I got home, everybody was shocked and surprised. This was the guy who took back home like this early morning. What's he doing back home? But the point is that at that point, nobody still asked me, what's the problem? Like, why did you abscond from the school? They thought I was this black sheep, you know. That's and I had that thing in my mind. My dad didn't ask me. In fact, my dad was so annoyed with me and he felt that I didn't want to go to school any longer. He said, "Okay, since you don't want to go to school, welcome home, my son." That he left me. I spent almost a month. It was my mom. My mom was the person that fought, pleaded on my behalf. Oh, let's find out what's wrong with this boy, why he has not been, and all those things. I mean, after everything, I was able to talk and everything, and then they were able to register me in a new school where I finished from. So I actually did only one term in that school. So and I'm like, if I was asked to go back to my childhood to change one thing, or if I want to say that, like, what's one thing that I would feel better if I had it differently, this is what I would say: having having that lovey-dovey relationship that we right now have learned to give our kids, of which I know that you guys are also doing right now. So that's one thing I would say. So if I'm going to throw this question back to you guys, what's that one thing that you think if you were to change in your childhood, what's it going to be?
Um, okay, for me, it's still going to be a lot of communication. There are so many things that happen to me. In fact, as I'm talking about this thing, I'm getting very emotional. You know,
If you need to cry, cry. It's a safe space.
I'm getting very emotional. Sandra is my girl, so she knows the story
Hmm.
and all. You know, there are so many things that happened growing up.
Which story?
Please.
And we're getting
It's not what I said, May. I didn't say she should give details. I beg.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We understand what
I
we're
didn't say
saying.
you said it.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, if there is something that I could change in my childhood, is communication with my parents.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get it at all, that's why it is very important to me in raising my children. I want to be the first person that knows what my kids are going through.
Right.
As in, I want to be the person they come to, whether it is good, whether it is bad, or whether it is ugly. I want to be their safe space.
Hmm.
I didn't get that from my parents. And
Right.
it doesn't mean that they were bad parents. It's
No,
just
not at
that
all. Not at all.
they didn't they didn't understand that aspect of parenting. Let
Right.
me just put it that way.
I agree with
They
you.
built a wall that if we see them as not being our friends, they will raise us well, which also works in a particular way because your child is not your friend when you're trying to discipline them and get them.
Yeah.
But there should be a balance. So for
Right.
me, I would want my kids to be I would want to be my kids' safe space.
Hmm.
So I tell my children, no matter what it is that you've done, no matter what it is that is going on, no matter what, please tell me. There are so many things that happened in my life when I'm growing up that till tomorrow I cannot discuss with my parents.
Can you give us one gist? This one I've seen so many things. Let's say something. Hmm?
So let's leave the details. But
Okay.
let's leave the details. But that's the fact. There are a lot of things that even now you're saying, let's give the gist. When I started menstruation, for example,
Yeah.
my mom, when I entered JSS1, I had this friend of mine, Nnamdi Nwogu, right? Nnamdi Nwogu, and my name is Tochi Nwori, Nnamdi Nwogu. So we were sitting by each other in
Yeah,
primary
because of
school.
the last name. Yeah.
So we were buddies, we were very good friends. And I didn't see Nnamdi in a romantic way. I saw him as my buddy. Do you understand? So, but you know that the way ladies think, girls think, is different from the way boys think.
Right, thank you.
Definitely.
So we went to secondary school. We said secondary school. He went to an all boys school. I went to a mixed school. But then the first holiday, we came back and he bought me necklace and handkerchief.
That's
A
love.
beautiful gift. So he bought me the gift. And in my innocence, I showed my mom the gift that, the boy bought for me. And it was coming from a bit of innocence, right?
Yeah.
I showed her the gift. So to see that I'm generally wired to express myself, generally,
Yeah.
that's how I'm wired.
Mm-hmm.
If
Mm-hmm.
not, that was the first thing that came to me. I showed my mom the gift. Mayo, my mom beats the living daylight out of me. And I was trying to tell her that, this boy, he's my friend. My mom said, you are mad.
Hmm.
A boy and a girl can never be friends.
But is that really true? But that's not true now.
If you're asking, is that really true? Are you not a boy? Are we not girls? Are we not friends?
Are we not friends?
Now, no, what I mean is at that age, like at that early stage, that's where your mom would have actually done that because of the fact that you are young and maybe, she had a different idea about the whole thing entirely. But right now, we could still see people that are friends even at that young age, like genuine
No, Mayor,
friends.
I don't think that approach. Do you know the ripple effects that her approach had?
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that is right. Of course, that's actually true. And that's what I would even say. Like, do you think that thing she did made you to become closed up?
Yes, that was what happened. I never told my mom any. My mom doesn't know anything about me. I say even when I started menstruating.
Okay,
She
so
did not
what I
know.
want to ask is, what would you do if you were in your mom's shoe? What would you do different now?
Fine.
In this our age
Now,
and time,
Exactly.
your mom's shoe.
That's where communication comes in. I want you to open up to me more about this guy. Can you tell me more about this guy? Okay, nice gift, beautiful gift. Why is he buying you gifts? We are friends. Can you tell me more about it? I was about 11 years old. I would have been having friendship conversations with my child. That's a very good opportunity to have conversations around sex, around
Yeah.
relationships.
Yes. Yeah. Because to be
That's
very
a
honest.
very that's a very good opportunity to build trust with that child. Oh, nice gift. Are they buying you gifts now? But you know that the way girls reason is different from the way boys reason. You might think he's just your friend, but maybe he might just want something else. So just be careful, be conscious of things. When he starts telling you things like this, or when he starts trying to tell you to touch this place, let's touch this place, then you will know that it's crossing friendship. I hope you understand boundaries in friendship.
Yeah.
Do you understand the conversation I'm
Yeah.
going to be having with my child?
Yeah.
That would have been an opportunity. My own is you see, parenting, there is definitely no right or wrong. It's just finding the right opportunity to plant the right seed. Because believe you me, I don't even know what I'm doing half the time. I don't know if it happens to you too, Sandra. Half the time, I am not sure of what I'm doing. Half the
I
time,
think no. For me, I think half the time I'm conscious because of the way to me I was raised. So mine was a bit balanced.
Exactly. So
mm,
yeah, let's say it.
There is what we call helicopter parents. Helicopter parents, they're always, you know how helicopter is flying, they always just want to know. That was my dad. In
Mm.
a strict way, he was knowing. He was always conscious and just wanted to know. My mom, in a friendly way too. Will I say she was even a bit more friendly to the point that I felt like, okay, maybe it's a good thing that my father was a helicopter parent and not, and because my mom had these more sociable qualities,
yeah.
but my dad was a helicopter one. He was cautious, he wanted to know, but he was also eager that as a growing person, you feel like he was overdoing it. But it kept me in that cautious state as well. Like there are some mistakes I felt like I could have made if I didn't have him as a dad. So out of that fear of, if I make this mistake now, remember like when I was saying, oh Mayor, you jumped fence. For me, if I had jumped fence, Ona, just don't come back. Don't come back to the house. So it was just like something that would keep me in that conscious state of um, I don't know what happened to me if I tell this man that I'm no longer in school and all that type of a thing. So he was a helicopter parent, and now being a parent, okay, something happened. One day I realized that these two people knew what they were doing. I mean, my mom and my dad. They would come out and one person would be different, another person would be different. But I caught them one day when my mom was telling my dad that thing you did, yes, it was very nice. You should not, it's good that you shouted at him. I think he was talking about my other brother. So it's good that yes, you do. But she on her part, she didn't have that quality of being firm on her kids. Maybe she was just over loving or something. But she was happy sometimes that my dad had that firmness. Now being a parent, I think I'm the strict one. I'm not even gonna lie. I think I am the strict parent. And I don't know
Sandra,
if
I
I
know you are the
inherited
one.
that
I know
quality
you are
from
the
my
one. I know
father.
you are the one. You can't even tell me
Yes.
otherwise.
I think I'm the strict one, even though I'm the woman. So my husband now being the person that is always saying, Jiri and Wayo, take it easy. Take it easy on them. So in a way too, I'm happy that somehow it's also balanced that when when I feel like I'm frustrated that these children, they're stressing me, then he's the one that is, Jiri and Wayo, calm down. calm down, Even when sometimes I'm like, don't do that. You should not have done that. And I could have a very loud voice. Though I don't mean bad, but sometimes my voice can just be so loud. My kid would be like, maybe I think I'm like over cautioning her. My husband is always there to always say, it's okay. It's okay. Even if she ends up maybe like feeling bad about it. Then I too, and sometimes, even as a human being, as a man, sometimes it also gets to him, like if the kids are overwhelming him, if he also gets to that point when he wants to like maybe like caution them, I on my own, I somehow, God just does, I'll not become soft.
You can,
I'll
yeah.
not become
Both
soft.
of
I'll
you
not be like,
cannot be.
yeah. So somehow it's also always good maybe like to have that balance, that being strict, I'll keep saying being strict is not bad. It's
Yeah.
needed. Spare the rod, spoil the child is needed. It's if there are some kids that if you I work in a school environment now, some of these kids, they'll be, if you see at the way they will talk, you'll be like, this boy, if you are my son, you cannot say that type of it. But they don't even see that anything. Why? Because in their house there is just this training of, it's not wrong. You
Let
don't you
always have
don't you
your
don't
always have
spank a
your
child,
way
you
kind of
don't,
thing. Yeah.
yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But for
Mm-hmm.
us Africans, there
Mm-hmm.
is this our culture of, don't do that. You should speak with, respect to
Respect.
your elders. They don't speak with respect. They can just call you Miss Sandra, Miss Sandra, give water, Miss Sandra, Miss Sandra. But I couldn't do that when I was growing up in my Nigerian and African school.
Right.
So I think a balance of it, not too much, because being too sociable, these kids will take you for granted. They will ride on you. They are smart too. These children are smart. They are very, very smart. So that time that if you are too playful with them, they know that they should not take an ice cream. They will not take it that time because mommy is in a good mood. She will not like scold them. So a balance of two of them, both of them, is really needed, if I'm to say.
That
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
I
Honestly,
agree.
that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I for one, I would definitely say that there are so many things that we learned from our childhood, from our parents, that are able to be transferred to our children right now. And then, of course, we also have the ones we need to drop aside so that we will not just bring them over. So it means that it's like a two-way traffic. Really, it's a two-way traffic. If we see the fact, if we see the things that our parents did well that we think we are able to replicate for our kids, we go ahead and do it. And the ones that we think they did not do right, we just trash it. Because the world is
Exactly.
changing. The world is changing, obviously, and everybody, we all like different countries, different rules and regulations apply. You know, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know if you guys flog your kids. Like we were flogged. Like, at least do you guys spank them at least at some point, or do you just shout at them? I know that
Mhm.
there are also laws guiding surrounding those things. I don't know, but when I give birth, I will hide you inside the closet and flog.
I was going to say that.
After flogging you, I'll bring you
Don't do
out.
it openly. Don't do it openly because yeah, it's not accepted. So don't do it
Exactly.
openly.
I will spike you small, bring you out, and tell you sorry. That's just it. And nothing our parents didn't do was saying sorry to us. My dad was not that kind of person. My mom
Mm-mm.
did. My mom was telling sorry. She will pet you as in to pieces. My dad will never tell you sorry. But there's a way he would do it. Probably he would just use style. Buy
Yeah,
gifts.
exactly.
Oh God, our parents. God help
Have you
us.
eaten? Go and take that food
Yes.
jar.
They will
Go and
ask
take it.
questions.
Like that.
Yeah.
You know.
So, but for me,
For
I
kids,
really,
kids nowadays are demanding apology
They are
because I
demanding
thought
for it. They
I
are now
yeah,
self-aware. They
yeah.
are demanding
they are
for it.
self-aware because they are demanding for apology. And these things that you're teaching these children, they will practice it with you first.
Yes.
I was teaching
Yes.
my son that when someone does something wrong to you, we're having a conversation about what someone did to him in school, and
Yeah.
he said that at the time it happened, that he didn't know what to say. He didn't have a response. So they were labeling him. And I told him, when they label you, you put your foot down and tell them not to label you, not to call you that name. Tell them your name and also demand for an apology for
Mm.
labeling you. So one day, I now called my son a name, right? Omo, he putting up the
And
foot
he put his
down.
foot down.
He
That's me.
And he put his foot down.
put his foot down. I said, Mommy, that's not my name. My name is Jason, and you will not call me that. So you're going to apologize for calling me that, and also promise never to call me that again. Omo, that's how I say sorry. You.
Mhm.
Exactly. That's how it
So
works. I mean,
that's
it tells you that they learn, right? And
the
they catch up.
learn.
These
Yeah,
are those that are very smart. Okay, so
yeah.
I'm going to like do this question. It's a random question for one for each of you. Jenny, so I'm going to ask you first. Would you rather have a rewind button or a pause button for your life, and why?
It depends on what the buttons are going to do for me. Rewind to do what exactly?
So now, generally for your life, look at it generally. So I'm not patching anything on it. I'm not attaching anything, any events. Looking at your life generally, would you prefer to have a stop or a rewind button? It's just don't overthink it. You don't have to overthink it.
I would rather have a pause, no rewind.
Really?
Nah.
Why? Why?
So the presently where my life is right now, it's not. I'm not doing badly.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have any regrets. Gone, gone, gone. That I want to go back to go
Okay.
and change.
That makes
I
sense.
mean, everything that happened in the past stays there.
Yeah.
I am more interested in the future.
Right.
So as much as I wouldn't want to also pause my life, but since I'm between pause or rewind, I rather pause and rest.
Hmm. My smart
But if it is
girl.
to come and start going back, that thing is stressful, Ganga. Whatever happened in the past stays in the past. I'm not going back to it.
Makes
I'm
sense.
done.
So,
Yeah.
Sandy, your question is coming. So,
Oh,
would you rather be able to talk to animals, hmm?
would I
or
rather
speak?
be?
Would you rather be able to speak to animals or speak every language? Like,
Would
would you
I
rather
rather be
be
able to
able to
talk to
communicate with
animals?
animals, yes, or speak every language in the world? On, speak every human
Animals.
language.
Someone that is afraid of chicken. Eh? Speak to
Who
animals.
knows? Who knows? Maybe
Since
if
when
you
did I
opt
want
for
to
that
start
option.
working in the zoo? Since when did I want to do that one? I better go. Animals, day your day. You see, right now, I'm learning a new language and I know how hard it is. So I will go for being able to speak different language. That will put you at a particular place in life. That will place you like there are some jobs you will look for. There are some things you just want to do. It will help you to blend in better,
Right.
travel better, and all that.
Yeah.
So definitely, I beg, speak languages. Animals. Mm-mm.
Day your day. Talk to
That
animals.
makes
Bring someone
sense.
help. Please, what do you get from by talking to animals, Mayo? What?
So I don't know. So now people may find you weird, but you're going to be a special being on earth. People are going to be looking up to you for a lot of things. Like you will be like the king among kings, right? Imagine knowing how to speak to
See,
all the
these
animals.
Oyibos, they like it though. They
Exactly.
like
You're gonna
it.
be like
I don't know what they fancy. I don't know what they gain from it. It's like therapeutic for them. It's
exactly.
therapy. Some things they just see life differently. They have a
Yes.
different view to so many things. They like it. I've seen a lot of them. Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna do like one speed round, like a speed round questions. I want you guys to answer at the same time. At the same time,
Okay.
even if the answer is different, but it's just like A or B. So it's like a speed round, and that's like the last session we have before we call it a day. So number one, pizza or burgers?
Pizza.
Eh?
Pizza
Sorry.
or burgers?
Pizza.
Burger.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Dogs.
Okay, okay. Super strength or invisibility?
Super
Super
strength.
strength.
Of course, mothers. What else do you go for?
Super strength.
Super
Coke
strength.
or Fanta?
Coke.
Fanta. Is the person that is Fanta.
Yes, then he's not saying Coke.
It's very ironical. It's very ironical.
That's life for you.
Oh my god. Apple or oranges?
Apple.
Apple.
You people
Apple of
are
God's
people are
life.
people are thieves. Oh my god. Okay, this is like the end of this episode, and I had fun. I'm not gonna lie. I love
Yeah.
the way this conversation went. And for me, I'm not married yet, but this is like a master class. You know, um, I believe that lots of people will learn from this episode. Like, I mean, because you guys are you guys brought in your experience, right? You are mothers, you've had experience growing up, and you're doing this. Sometimes you work in a school environment. Genevieve, you work with kids. I know that you guys know what it's all about, and you're giving your best to this episode. I'm so grateful for having you guys here, and thank you so much for making this episode a wonderful one. I'm going to be having you guys again. Just this is not a one-time thing. Just so you will know, when I find another topic that will fit the two of you, I will drag you back. Just so you will
Definitely,
know. Yeah.
definitely.
So I'm so happy. This conversation went like beyond my idea. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, guys, for everything.
All right,
Oh,
Mayor.
all right,
Jenny.
Mayor. Thank you for having us. Okay,
Bye.
it was
Thank
really
you, guys.
fun
Thank
and
you so much.
interesting.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, Mayor. Bye.